Hey Mick Wire, here's how to do float on. So it's in standard tuning, and I'll put a link to the best tab that I found in the description. So make sure you click see more to see that if it's not at the top. So you want to know the main riff and then the intro riff, so I'll cover that, and then I'll show how you could do it with bar chords, and then how to do it with a capo. So the first thing you need to do is you bar 666. And I would just do it all with your first finger. Then you're going to hammer on to 7 on the B string with your middle finger. It's going to be like this. And then you're going to do a pull off from that finger. So this has to have tension on it still. So far we had. And then you're going to do a double hammer on, which is kind of tricky. So the ring finger is going to go on to 8, the middle finger is going to go on to 7. So you're actually going to end up with this shape, but you want to hold this down still on 666. So. And I did a double pull off. So that's kind of a hard trick. If you've ever learned this Weezer song, they have like a double hammer on and Say It Ain't So. So it's kind of the same feeling. So I'll play the whole intro and then I'll explain it again slow. So. Now I'm kind of getting that pulsing sound by using my right hand, like lightly touching the strings and also going like that. So that's more advanced. Like my students would probably go like more like this. Whoops. Like this. Or you might even have to just go. And don't worry about the hammer on. Because that's kind of hard, but after a while you start to get, if you play guitar a while, this is a pretty common technique to be like, where you're lifting up here a little bit using these fingers and this hand. It's kind of a funk sort of technique. So that's the first part. The next part is this riff that comes in on top of that, and it starts on 11 on the G string, and it goes. So the tab actually says something that I just don't think is right. It says it goes to 9 at a certain point. I think it goes like this: 9 on the G, and up to 9 on B, and then up. I'm sorry, that was 11. So 11, 11, 9. So 11 on G, 11 on B, 9 on E, and then you go back down. So that's making a little major shape. 11, 11, 9, 11, and then you go to 9 and back to 11 on the B string. So the first part is, and I tend, when I play it, I tend to do more hammer-ons, like, but I wouldn't worry about that. That just kind of happens. I would just worry about. Then the next riff, you do the same thing, but the starting note starts on 10 instead of 11. That's the second riff, so it started here instead. Now the tab says to go here, which would make sense. Like that's a pretty common thing to do, to keep descending. But it just sounds totally wrong. And listening, it sounds like they go back up for the next part. So that would be the third one. You could try what they say in the tab, but it just didn't sound right to me. And if you listen, you can hear the note goes higher the next time through. And then the last part, you just go. You just hit 11 a bunch of times. Then you go 9 and 7. You could slide down or you could pick down. So the whole thing is. Or if you want to get back, you can go. So don't play this twice. So here it is slow. And it helps when you're learning little solos like this to spot the shapes. Here's the first shape, back to this, back to this, and then, so then you can kind of see where your fingers are supposed to go instead of having to think like 11, 9. I don't think that. I'm just thinking this shape, that note changes back to that shape, and then the ending. So that's the whole first part. Then the next question is like, how could you do some bar chords? So the key of this song is F sharp. That's F sharp major or G flat major, but I would think of it as F sharp major. So one thing you can do is, when I was listening, I like to think, what is the bass doing? And the bass was going. Faster to actually, it's like, so the bass is going 9 on the A, 8, 7 on E, 6. Then you could think, well, what are the shapes that we're using in the beginning? So you could add the bass in and then figure out what chords you should do to get the overall sound. And this first chord is hammering into this little major shape. You know D major, if you slide it up, this is F sharp major. So then we need this bass note, so you can play like this chord. This is hard, pretty hard, but so. And the next chord went, this is like a minor chord. So I'm thinking this chord. And that sounds right, and the bass went to there, so then the bass goes from there, so. The next one hammered into. So I'm thinking this, but the bass was right here. So that's actually an F major 7. That's a major 7 chord, and in this case, it's on the 7th fret. The last chord went back to the minor. So this is a pretty hard thing to do that I'm doing right now. I'm just showing it because I'm going to show how to do it with the capo. So one more time, here's F major 7. Here's F major, the first chord. The next one would be B flat minor, starting here. The next one is B major 7. You could do it like this, or you could do it like this. Actually sounds better, but it's harder. Or you could do this. That sounds too jazzy though, so I think like this is best. And then you just go to B flat minor. That's really awkward and hard, so what you can do is, whenever you run into that kind of problem, you could think, where was I going the lowest? It was the 6th fret, so you could put this on there. And then you can do it like this. You can do C major, E minor, and then F major 7, and E minor. So C major with capo on 6. So C major, E minor, F major 7. The easiest way to do it is thumb on 1st fret, then 1 on B, 2 on G, and 3 on D, and that's all relative to the capo. So this would get muted. And this needs to be open. That's what's making it major 7. And then back to E minor. And what's really cool to do here is to have the sound of the... And the way you would do that is the notes, this note is actually right here. So the next note went, which is the open string. And going back to this. And then the end just went. So what you can do is you can actually play it all together off these open chords. So what I'm doing is C major, and I'm strumming up to here the first time so you can really hear that. And then I'm hitting up the top string, and pinky goes up there, and pinky goes right here. Like the fireworks are going off. Here's C. You do E minor up to the B string. You do the same thing with pinky up to there. And then you do F major 7. You strum up to right there. And the last time you just go. And you can do a pull out. The slower parts are the same chords, just slower, like. Oops. And that's it. So let me know if you have any questions. Right back.